One of the things that was covered in session 1 is how important unity is to your marriage and to your parenting, working together. This goes double for blended families. If you get this right, a lot of other things in your family begin to fall in place. But there's 3 barriers I want us to talk about. When it comes to parenting, first of all, understand that you're going to have different parenting styles. One of the questions that I get is, if you both have kids, can you have different systems for different kids? Absolutely not. That's not unity. That means one of you's here and one of you's here. Somebody's got to come down or somebody's got to come up or we got to meet in the middle. I don't know what the right answer is, but I know you have to figure that out. You can't live separately. That just won't work over time. Happy couples in step families, we know from research, are twice as likely to have agreed on how they're going to discipline all the children together. It's an important factor. One of the other barriers is different emotional attachments to different kids. Think about this. If you're a biological parent, you have this natural, deep-seated, I call it DNA deep bond, emotional, psychological, spiritual connection with your child. They've always been in your life, you've always been in their life, your family. It's just really, really deep-seated. But a step-parent comes in and really doesn't have any of that. Now just stop and think about that for a minute. It makes a big difference day to day in what's happening when you experience a child misbehaves. Well, the parent with the deep emotional bond has history and life with this kid, and they have a deep amount of care for them, and so that affects how they respond in that moment. The step-parent is getting to know the child, has a relationship, but it's certainly not the same as what the biological parent has. All of a sudden you're looking at each other like, wait a minute, you don't like my child, and wait a minute, you're slow to pull the trigger. What's going on? And so you start blaming each other. Well, no, it's okay. There's differences here. We just want to understand them and not let them get the best of you. Don't turn on each other because of these differences. Talk about it. Share about these differences and try to come together, right? So there's one other barrier that all of this presents, and it's different homes parenting in different ways. You got your system figured out or you're working on it, but the other home has a completely different set of rules. So again, you're here and they're there. We've got a big gap. Bedtime at your house is this, and at their house it's that. You say no to those kind of movies and they say yes. Can you control all these differences? No. Can you understand them? Talk about it. Try to play to one another's strengths? Yes. Can you make sure that you're cooperating as well as you can in your home? Absolutely. Strive for cooperation in your home. Do what you can to cooperate with the other home as far as it depends on you, right? Going through this Art of Parenting series is a great opportunity. Here's what I want you to be mindful of as you go through. 3 things. Number 1, I want you to take copious notes, and I want you to notice what your parenting philosophy is. A lot of times people have a philosophy and they never really put it into words, never thought about it. So as you're watching and listening to the experts and going through the sessions and doing the arrow projects, go, you know what, I really think this. I think this is how we should parent in our home. Be making notes about that, because then you're going to dialogue as a couple. The second thing as you go through this series is I want you to pay attention and think about how you were parented when you were growing up. It's a high correlation between how we were parented and how we think parenting should go. Make sure you're talking about how you were parented so that you can come together around how you're going to parent your children. It's this dialogue, that's number 3, where those 2 different ideas begin to merge you closer and closer towards one another. And at the end of the day, if you end up on the same parenting page, you can lead your family from a stronger position.